Okay, before we start, I'm
then
gonna take a picture though for the Instagram. Cute.
is it?
Why did you? Why did you?
Did I get balloons?
She said cute, and then you got balloons.
Every time you compliment me, it's gonna give me.
You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh.
In the future, if by some miracle you ever find yourself in the position to fall in love again, fall in love with me. Welcome to Page to Picture Podcast. I'm your host, Kim.
And I'm Tiff, and today we're talking about one of the most talked about adaptations, and it is It Ends With Us.
Yes. And before we dive in, just a quick heads up, the episode will include spoilers about It Ends With Us and the movie adaptation. So if you haven't read the book or seen the movie yet and you want to avoid the spoilers, just come back and listen later.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll get into it. So today I am excited to finally talk about this with you, but I'm even more excited to introduce our first guest on this podcast. She's not only an incredible entrepreneur and the owner of LB Photobombs, which is here in Las Vegas, but she's also the founder of Inspire Her Movement. She is a true woman's advocate, a boss, someone who brings nothing but laughter and light wherever she goes. She's simply a girl's girl, amazing. And on top of all that, she is one of my best friends. There is nobody more perfect to talk about this book and the movie with than the amazing, beautiful, and unstoppable Samantha Hernandez. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. We're on the podcast, so I'm not trying to be a little crybaby. I'm honored and I'm so excited.
I'm probably gonna cry. I'm probably gonna cry on this podcast.
I'm just gonna
thank
be
you for that amazing introduction. But I'm honored. I'm excited. I'm so proud of you guys for kicking off your podcast. I know you're getting out of your comfort zone as well, but I'm excited to see where this goes. I think that this is such a great idea to mix movies and books, and I think you guys are going to do amazing. So I'm excited.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. You're our very first guest. This is going to be our official first episode, the first book and movie we talk about. So it's a very, very big deal. So we're very happy that you're here. Thank you for being here. Cheers. I have my soda.
Like, oh my God.
Very mindful, very demure.
Very mindful.
Very cutesy.
I'm gonna drink mine's off camera.
Oh my God.
Yes.
She chugs the whole bottle.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm already done. Thank you.
Okay, Sam, thank you for being here today. Like Kim said, we're honored to have you here. I'm very excited. So to start it off, we want to know pretty much what your relationship is with this book or this movie, what your thoughts are about it. Just, give us the deets, give us the details.
Okay. First, I don't even know where to begin because I was trying to think back. I'm like, where did I even begin with this book? It all started with the book. But I definitely remember that I read the book. I cried. Who didn't cry, first of all? And then I remember texting Kim.
Yeah.
And I said, you have to read this book. She was so down. I remember the next day she's over here telling me I think you were getting your car fixed?
Yes, I was at an AutoZone. I was at AutoZone, sitting there waiting, and I'm texting her because I'm at pivotal points, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting here at AutoZone reading this book, crying, I freaking loved it. AutoZone.
Yeah, I loved how she was just giving me updates, but that's how I started off. I started reading the book, and I was trying to think. But I remember, I was like, when was it? When was it that we actually read the book? It was not.
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Last year, maybe?
Yeah. Because I remember I seen it trending. Oh, sorry. I seen it trending on TikTok for a little while too, where it was starting to come to the surface where everybody was talking about it. And then I downloaded it, and then that's when I started reading it, and then that's when I sent it over to you. And Kim was the only other person who read the book. with me through it. Besides my
You tell
sister-in-law
me to read a
too.
book. You tell me to read a book. I will read it. I will
But
read. I went, bought it, read it, and I remember like texting her when I finished it because at the
yeah,
time it wasn't announced that the movie was going to be made or like that there even was going to
no,
be a
yeah, there was
movie.
never,
And I
yeah,
Mhm.
remember finishing it, texting her and saying, "When this becomes a movie, we are going to see it." And
yeah.
then it came out; it was going to be a movie. I was like, "Oh my god, we knew!" That's how
No, I remember I was only talking to her about the book, and then my sister-in-law at that time we were living together, so we pretty much were reading the book. So we would be having our moments too while she was cooking and stuff. I'd be like, "Oh my god, did you just read that?" And then one time I went to go spend the night at my best friend's house too, and when I went over there, I was reading her the story. She so this goes into tying into the movie when we went to the movie theater, the group of individuals who went with us. But basically she was somebody that didn't read the book, but I read it to her. So she calls me her
Yeah.
audiobook. I let her know everything, the ins and outs of the book. But yeah, I think that's where it kind of went. And then once they said that the movie was coming out, we were just counting our days and we were excited. And I couldn't wait. We had to
No.
do the pre-release.
Yeah,
And
we went like Wednesday night.
yeah, Wednesday night. 'Cause
Like it's supposed to
be
come out
Friday.
Thursday or Friday, and we came like Wednesday.
We went to the ghetto to
It
go
was.
watch it.
That's so funny.
It was like the only place that because it was like already almost sold out everywhere we looked, or at least like the main places that we wanted to go watch it. Already like sold out, or like there was like no
Didn't have
seats.
great seats. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like shitty. I was like, we're not staying in the front. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
because then you're
remember
like,
looking up like
you're literally like,
My
I'm like,
neck.
hello. Yeah, I was like, we're not doing that. It's September 11th. It's September. Tiff just watched the movie this past weekend.
yeah, okay, so I'm late to the party
Almost
because
a month.
I read the book late because, okay, I'm not a Colleen Hoover girly. Okay, so
Okay.
in my head there's two different kind of girlies. There's an Emily Henry girly, which is like the author of Happy Place and Beach Read, and then there's like a Colleen Hoover girly. I'm not a Colleen Hoover girly, so I didn't feel the need to pick up the book. I'm not a Colleen Hoover girly. So my friend from that I met on my book talk account messaged me and she's like, "You need to read this book. I feel like you would like it." She's like, "I know you don't like Colleen Hoover, but like you have to read this book." I was like, "Fine." So I listened to the audiobook. Halfway I went and bought the book and I started reading it and I was like, "Why is this so like emotional?"
The
It's so
emotions.
emotional.
Emotional.
I
And
know.
then I had to wait to watch the movie because my best friend was in town this weekend and she wanted to watch it because she read it too. So I
Yeah.
waited to watch it with her. And so I just watched it. So it's fresh in my head, the
It's
movie.
Okay.
so
And
fresh for her.
It's super
Super
fresh because I
fresh.
think I might have forgotten certain things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
And then
okay.
you're gonna have to tell us the intro because we were late and we missed.
So
we
I was trying to
missed
buy
the beginning.
tamales for us to sneak into the movie theater.
That's fair.
There's too many.
That's fair. I remember
So we
I
didn't
think
get
I
them.
remember
But
what
I've
the
seen
intro
them on
was.
TikTok. But I've seen it on TikTok. It's like the roof scene. That's the intro. It's like the big.
It's not.
We missed that part. So
Yeah,
if that's
it's
even
not the
we still
intro.
missed it.
The intro is the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes
And then
into
it
the
does like
rooftop.
it ends with us and then
The funeral?
it goes to
Whose
her
funeral was it
in the
again?
town.
Her
dad's
dad.
funeral.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she's like on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So I will hit you guys with the facts. So as mentioned before, the author is Colleen Hoover. She writes a lot of contemporary romance. So that is the genre of this one, but it also addresses some serious issues, which tends to be a certain trend in Colleen Hoover's books. Not in all of them, but you'll kind of pick up some if you read a lot of her books. So this one does address the issue of domestic violence. So there is a trigger warning regarding this book. The setting of this particular book is going to be set in like current times. And it's set in Boston, but then there are some flashback scenes for when the main characters are children. And it was released in August of 2016. So it ends with us.
Wow. That's when the book was released.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Crazy.
Mhm. And then, so it's actually like a duology. So It Ends With Us is the first one, and then It Starts With Us
Mhm.
is the second part of it. And that one was released in 2022, so that was more
Did you guys
recent.
read that?
No, not yet.
I did read it.
Did you?
I
For that one,
didn't.
yeah. But I
Did you
didn't
like?
finish it fully.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'll have to read it.
Yeah. And that one just kind of touches more
We
on
could do a part
Lily.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my Lily.
Yeah, it's about Lily and Atlas and it kind of
What
explores
happens?
more of their relationship.
Ah.
Like their perspectives on
Yeah.
it, right?
And then in 2021, the book experienced like a massive surge of popularity because of Book Talk, which is where I came to come across it. And then in January of 2022, It Ends With Us debuted as #1 of the New York Times bestsellers list. And then eventually, as we know now, it was picked up as a movie.
That is crazy. That's crazy that it was released in 2016 and didn't even get its full like heightened
Yeah.
like anything until just recently.
Yeah.
That's
Like
a trend that I see.
social media is crazy.
Like over 6 years later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just overall what is trending or what's pushed out there
Yeah,
is going to get
that's,
people to
like,
pick up that book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now diving into the movie, which was recently released in theaters August 9th, 2024. Director Justin Baldoni, who is known for his role in Jane the Virgin, which I love Jane the Virgin. Love Jane the
remember you told
Virgin.
me.
I love him in it. I'm like, I just love him. And then he also directed 5 Feet Apart, which I haven't seen, but I do
I
want
don't
to see
think-
that movie. Like they're sick. The
That
kids
movie
are,
is
like, sick
good.
or something,
Yeah.
right?
It's
They have
with one
cancer?
of the Cole Sprouse
Yes.
brothers. That one was a book too, I think. Yeah, pretty sure.
Maybe
I
that
might
It
be
was a
wrong, but
book,
I'm
yeah.
pretty positive that one was a book.
No, she's positive
Yeah.
it was.
It's a young adult novel.
I've seen it on like social media. I've seen them on like streaming, but I've never like clicked it to watch it. never
It's
Yeah, I've actually
it's
seen the
sad.
book at
It's a
Target.
tearjerker.
I think Andy Grammer's song is on there. I love Andy Grammer. He's got a song on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good
Dude,
one.
it's-
And then the cast for this movie is as Lily Bloom, it is Blake Lively, who everybody should know who Blake Lively is, but if you, for some reason you don't, she is known for her roles in Gossip Girl, A Simple Favor, and she is married to what's his name?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Justin Baldoni. So we mentioned that he did direct this movie, but he also plays the role of Ryle, who is Lily's love interest and is a big like key figure in this movie. And then you have Brandon Sklenar. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Sklenar,
I believe.
Okay. Brandon Sklenar, known for his work in 1923, he plays Atlas Corgan, Lily's childhood love and central character in the novel's storyline. And then Jenny Slate, who plays Alyssa, which is Ryle's sister and Lily's close friend, who I love. I love Jenny Slate. Marshall is played by Hassan Minaj.
I love him.
Who was in, just quick looking, he was in Haunted Mansion, No Hard Feelings. He's in a couple episodes of The Morning Show. I don't really remember seeing him. Like, he didn't stand out as far as like someone I knew.
He's a comedian. He had a series on Netflix, and he like talked about like all the things that were happening in the world, whether it was like politics or war or like money or social media, like just like anything. But he would add like funny stuff to it. But I like binged it for like the longest time.
Okay, so let's get into our segment of differences and similarities between the book and the movie. I'll start, and then Tiff, if you just want to go one and one.
Yeah.
And then Sam, if anything, anytime, like we said, just jump in if you have any comments about it, your thoughts about it, or if you have one that we didn't mention, please just bring it up. Like,
Okay.
don't worry. Okay. So one of the differences, not like a big deal, like it didn't bother me. It was like the age. That was like a huge thing with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, they up their age, they up their age. I'm like, I don't really care. It's fine with me.
Yeah,
In the
age
book,
is whatever.
yeah, in the book, Lily's 23 and Ryle is 29, and then in the movie, they're like in their
30s,
late
I think.
30s.
Yeah.
Which
40s, right?
I think
I
they're
think-
40 in real life, but in the movie,
I think
in
they're
the
like
movie, they're in their 30s.
late 30s because for Alyssa's birthday they said something
Oh,
about
yeah,
her
she's
being
30.
close to 30 or something, and so I'm assuming that they would all be in the same age range. Because
Yeah,
like for
Blake
Alyssa's
is.
birthday party, she had her birthday party and it was like,
Yeah.
I think it was
And
like
I
a
didn't-
late 20s, early
I didn't
30s
mind it.
age.
Like, it didn't bother me. Like, it makes sense that they're the age that they are in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they also were talking about like how could somebody be a neosurgeon, whatever.
A neurosurgeon.
Yeah, neosurgeon at that age. They just felt like that was too soon. Like,
Yeah,
for him
like
to-
his made
I don't know, I was
sense.
old.
No,
There's
yeah,
no way.
that does not make sense.
It makes no sense.
So that was like a big, I remember it being a big deal with a lot of people on TikTok, but I was like, it was fine. And I think
It's-
at the end of the day, everybody was okay with it.
Yeah. The movie is more realistic because if you think about it, and if you like read other books that are like romance books, the girl's always 22, 23, like young, right? And then the
Mhm.
guy's always
Yeah.
like around that age. And because that's just because it's more appealing in the book. You don't want to read about
Yeah.
someone that, you know what I mean? I mean, I don't mind because I have books where I'm like reading about 30-year-old women that are like trying to find love. And I'm like, cute. But to the like, to the basic book talk person or someone that's like getting into books, they don't want to read about that. They want to read about someone that's like closer to their age. And that's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, from a book perspective, I could see that.
Yeah.
From like the movie standpoint, I would see like why they went for casting older.
Yeah.
Just makes
Um,
sense.
Yeah. And then another thing, a difference is the journals. And I remember that being like the first thing you said to me, Sam, when we left.
Yeah.
We didn't even leave the theater. Like the credits
No.
are rolling, and she's like, they didn't do the journal.
They didn't. They
That
really
stood out
didn't.
to me, right? Didn't that
It
stand out
annoyed
to you?
me because
Yeah.
she, like, in the book, Ellen is such a huge part of her growing up. And, like, she even kept, like, the journals. Like, because in the
Yeah.
book, she found the journal and was rereading it. And that's what made it make sense for her
Yes.
to have these flashbacks of, like, Atlas and
Mhm.
growing up
Yes.
with him. And so, like,
But then even like Ryle finds the journal.
Yeah.
And like that's one of
Yes.
the
And I was
causing
like,
like
Well, like, yeah.
where's the journal?
Where's the journals? I couldn't even hold it. I was like, yeah, where's the journals at? And I just felt like even in the book, it's referencing to her like writing in her journal.
Yeah.
yeah.
She's always writing in her journal.
Mhm.
And that's the thing too. Like I feel like they could have put like a little snippet of like her and like Ellen because that was significant, you know, like with her bringing up the shows. And then just overall her journals, like I just couldn't believe that they didn't include it.
Even if they did like a short montage of them as kids getting to know each other and hanging out, and you know how sometimes in movies they'll do like the overlay and it's like someone's writing and it's like dear
Yeah.
Ed.
Yes.
Like if
Yes.
they just did that and then just in the
That would-
background had a montage, that would have made more sense because then I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Ellen, like it's her
Let her
journal
direct the
entries are
movie.
in there. They just didn't do that, and I was like,
No.
I was so mad.
And then also like we're jumping, I'm gonna be jumping, but in the book, he finds her journal.
Mhm.
Like they could have done a scene where like because you don't even see her own apartment. Like you don't see her living by herself, right? And like moving in or like getting the apartment that Ryle got her. Remember, like
Yeah.
in the book, Ryle got her like this whole level
Yeah.
apartment.
Yep, they were detailed in
Like
it.
it could have been, you could have shown like her carrying like a box, and it's like a box of the journals, and she's like looking at the journals, and she like hides the box of journals so that Ryle like it could have, they could have put that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
they
took
could've-
away for,
I feel like they
10
could've done-
seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah, they could have did a quick little timeline of it, like fast forwarding, going fast, like going through her moving and stuff like that, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then like Was she? Is there a scene? Is there a scene she's on the bed writing in a journal?
She's not writing
the
in a
movie?
journal. She's working on her like floral journal.
Oh, see, that could have been like her reading her journal or
Yeah,
something. There's like a short scene in the movie
I forgot about that one.
because it's not even relevant.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it should have been her journals.
Like, why is she
Yeah,
And
it sucks.
putting flowers over a picture of flowers?
I remember.
There's
I
no need
remember
for it.
briefly. But the Ellen DeGeneres thing was another big thing because they like if you didn't read the book, and I know they said in the movie they like sprinkled hints, Easter eggs. So it was like if you knew to look out for the references, you saw them.
Did you
Right?
see one of them?
I saw
Like
the plush, the Nemo plush inside in the room.
In the baby
Oh.
room. It was
In the
like
baby room.
on the right.
On the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On an ottoman.
That's what I saw instantly when I watched the movie. When I go back and like read on TikTok, I'm like, okay, there's this, there's this, there's this.
Did you guys see, like, I had seen on TikTok where they were talking about Atlas's jacket,
Yeah.
the
I
brown
didn't see it.
jacket.
Mm-hmm.
She's wearing the brown jacket.
it
and
on
her
a
outfit,
date
and that's-
with
She goes to the
Ryle
roof?
on the roof.
Her outfit choice.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk about that later. I have a whole thing because
Well, that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Atlas's jacket.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I
His
feel like
jacket from when he was a kid.
on the school bus, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's,
can't
it's the brown
remember.
jacket he's wearing on the school bus.
Yeah.
And
the
then
one
that-
that he has. I think that's like his only jacket.
And
Oh my
so-
god. I love it.
having too much fun.
I love
like,
the
yeah.
animation.
There's another one. The magnet. You can there was like a
Oh,
little
yes.
montage of her doing something and it was there for like
I
a
didn't see
second
it.
and I saw it. I think she was writing something down or whatever. I don't know what she was doing, but it was looking down on a desk and she was writing something and there it just panned over and I just saw it. It said
No.
everything's better in Boston. It was a little magnet and I was like, there is. It's like
They could
use
have.
it.
Okay, so
They could have emphasized that scene
Yeah,
with
'cause
the
then we would
magnet a
never
little bit more, because
know.
that's what makes him flip out.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Like-
So in the movie, it's they essentially remove the magnet and they emphasize on her tattoo. That's
Mhm.
what like that's what's like swapped out, right? It's like the magnet is not in the book, but it's not in the movie. And in the movie, instead, it's like her tattoo that like is talked about in the article.
But he does touch about. Well, yeah, in the article, yeah.
In the
But-
article, like
Mm-hmm.
Ryle's like, read the article, and she's like the tree.
Reading the lines.
It's called Roots because the tree that this girl, whatever.
Yeah.
is
Oh,
it.
that's a whole other thing. We're like jumping
but that
everywhere,
like, but in the book, they're like, where did you come up with the name Bibbs? And he's like, it's better in Boston, and it's like referencing with the magnet, and then he realizes like, oh my god, this is the magnet, you're the girl, like, you know what I mean? Like, it all connects that way in the book.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that better.
so
Yeah.
did I.
I think that's way better. Not just that, like, I don't know. There's just like there's a list of things like that I feel like they could have made stand out a little bit more
Yeah.
in the action movie.
Yeah.
The Journals is my number one. Like
It was
they
like
should've-
pivotal. It was,
Mhm.
I mean, the journals is that's what gets like Ryle to his point. You know what I mean? Like, anyway,
And then
I digress.
didn't they change his restaurant?
Yeah, it
The
wasn't
name?
Yeah.
called Roots. It was called
No.
Bibs.
It's called Bibbs.
So when they
Yeah.
said we
Better
were
in
going to
Boston.
Roots, when they were like, we're going to Roots or the restaurant that we like or whatever, I was like, it wasn't that place called Roots? What the hell?
Yeah.
What's going on? I didn't realize
And then
it until later
and then
on.
when they do the flashback and it's like them talking about the tree and roots and whatever they
Yeah, and
quote
I
in
was
the
like,
movie.
That's what they're trying to do. And you see, I feel like that's what they were doing is they were trying to make things connect in the movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
because
For people who
it would
don't
only
know.
make sense, because if you didn't read the book, then you would have never understood the movie.
Yeah.
So they
Yes,
were
but
connecting pieces through that.
But I feel like you could have introduced the magnet situation. You know what I mean? Because he got the magnet, she got the magnet when they were kids, right? Or
Yeah.
teenagers.
Mhm.
He could have still given her the magnet. It still could have been like a pivotal, but instead it was the hollow necklace or the whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, the tree, the heart
Yeah.
tree.
Yes. And then she ended up getting like the tattoo.
I think it's
Yeah.
because in the movie, because
Or do you think like a magnet's not
comes back,
as like
right?
sentimental?
Atlas comes back after he goes to Boston. He comes
In the
back,
book.
yeah, in the book to go see her, and that's when
Yeah.
he gives her the magnet. No, and he's like,
I don't remember.
I think that's
No,
how it
yes.
happened or something. But in the
I remember
movie,
he sees her.
he can't come back because the dad almost beat the crap out of him, and they were never seen after that. So like there would be no point of him coming back to her.
But I thought in the book,
Yeah,
he went. God, it's been so long since I read the book. But I thought in the book, he went out to look for her at the college, and he saw that she was with somebody, and he didn't approach her because she was with somebody. So he didn't leave the magnet.
No,
then.
no, I'm saying because they were
right?
kids. He left to go to the Navy or something. Or no, he went to go live with his uncle.
Oh,
His uncle or his aunt in Boston. And then he was planning on going to the Navy. He came back.
Yeah.
He went like through her window and was like, she was like, I haven't seen you in forever, whatever. And then that's when they were like, they're just having this conversation. And he's like, I got you this. And it was a magnet. And then he leaves again.
Yeah, because he comes. So I'm looking. He comes also. Well, he returns to surprise her on her 16th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back from Boston to celebrate
That's when
with
they have
her.
it for the first time, I think.
And they said it's like the most amazing.
Tells her that the first night he saw her, he planned on. Yeah, so that's when he originally tells. Because did they even go through that in the movie? That he didn't even want to live.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, what part was that?
Towards the end. Yeah, when she's at his house.
Together. When they're together at his house, they're sitting on the couch, and he like tells her, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm remembering.
That upset me too because, and that's on my list.
It's on my list. Let me see.
So, how am I going to word this? In the book, so let me get to like where the point is. In the book, when they get into their altercation, Lily and Ryle, she calls Atlas to come and get her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he comes and gets her. They go back to her place, and there's like the poker night with the guy, his friend. That whole situation. And this one, like in the movie, she like went to him at the restaurant, and then like he took her there back to his house, and it was just very like short. It was very
only there for like one night, it seemed, but she was there for a long period of time.
And
she was there for a long time.
She was there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was really upset about that.
I was upset about it too. I was excited for poker night because that's one of my favorite scenes.
That was
when she like sees like these new group of people, and because like if you think about it, her only friends are Alyssa and Marshall, who is Ryle's siblings. Family. Yeah. So she doesn't really have other friends, as it seems in the movie. So like to introduce her to a whole group of people that like kind of lightens the mood of like what she's dealing with, because it helped her kind of ease up a bit with what's happening to her, and it gives her more of like that, like, okay, I'll be fine, I'm gonna be fine, you know.
And I think that's significant right there, like what Tiff is touching on. Also, I feel like, let's for example talk about people who truly are going through domestic violence, right, in those situations, and what is it said to surround yourself by people who are gonna lighten up, you know, the right people who are going to love you, who make you forget about everything that's going on, you know. And I think that's what was really nice in the book, is that poker night really showed the funny side of it, and like the jokes and the laughing, like it took you to a whole different moment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but they didn't include that.
Which is so dumb.
There's another one too that
There's another one that
also-
really irritates me
Okay,
that it
go ahead,
wasn't in
Sam.
there.
Okay,
You say what one bothered you, and then Tim, if she didn't say the one you said, then you say it. Your
Okay.
next one, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
another
Sam.
one that really bothered me was the line that the mom said and the emphasis, like the whole scene with the mom in
Yeah.
general.
The
I felt
entire
like they
thing.
She's not even in the
they just
movie,
did-
Bear. Like,
exactly.
It's so dumb.
And
I can't even remember what she looks like.
I can't.
yeah,
Like, if you were to ask me who played the mom, well, you just
You just
watched it.
watched it.
If you were to
I know.
ask me- If you were to ask me, I'd be like,
you just-
who? I'd be like, who? Who was the mom?
and I think that sucked because the mom scene was so important to me as well, because like hearing those words from your parent, like somebody
Yeah.
who went through that, and like actually knowing. And I think the line that stood out the most to me in the book that really actually got me to cry was every time you forgive him, you love him a little less.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that hit to the core, you know, because it's like it was deep in general. And then to know that like it wasn't even included there, or the moment of a mom and daughter sharing that moment,
Yeah.
like you know,
It was so
she
brushed
was-
over.
It was.
I was like,
you
I
almost-
wanted to see them at the dining table when she was at her house.
That's
And
what I
then she's
wanted
gonna
to
go to the
see.
dining
Yes.
table.
I want her to go there, have like tea or something with her mom, and then her
dinner.
just letting it
Let it
out, and then
out.
the mom just being like, "I get it," because at that point, like Lily and her mom in the movie, like especially in the movie, they're not like close. You can kind of see like
Yeah,
that they're
at
not really that
all.
close. But then if they were to put that in there, it would have been like they're looking in a mirror practically. Like they're face to face with each other, and there's like you can't
'Cause,
like you can't brush
yeah.
over something like that.
Because even in the book, I think she says, like, in the book, like, she was scared that her mom would tell her to stay.
And that's what I
Right?
was just looking up right now. That's the number one thing that they like that stood out the most was
And her mom was like,
he asked her
no.
mom, "Why did you stay?"
Yeah.
And it's like they never talked about any of that.
Yeah.
I was really upset. I was very upset about that as well.
Was that one
it's
yours though,
upsetting.
Tip?
It wasn't. No.
Okay,
The
then
one,
what's yours?
okay, the entire conversation and the way that it went out when she told Alyssa about it, they had that important moment where she was like, as you know, his sister, I
Oh
would
my
hope, but
God.
as your best friend, I would never, you know, that whole scene. Okay, that made me, I was bawling in the theater at that point. I cried when I read it. But what like the scene I liked about that scene in the book was like after that when she told them like I'm pregnant, and Alyssa's like ecstatic and Marshall's ecstatic, and that's why it kind of irritates me that Marshall has like no like lines whatsoever, because he like plays such a huge part in this, because he's like a big brother to her almost at some point, at you know, if you think about it, because he's like excited, you know, and then he walks her to their apartment to help her get things, to make sure that he's not there. And then when Ryle shows up at the apartment, she's like, he's looking at her like, I'm gonna stay if you want me to stay. If you want me to leave, I'll leave, but I'm not leaving the apartment. I'm just gonna leave the room. And she looks to him like, okay, yeah, I think I'm okay. I'll let you know. You know what I mean? And like that,
in
just
the book,
that
he
little
was like
part.
a support.
Yeah.
He was like a support for her. And in the movie, he just was like, whatever.
Just some funny
Like,
guy,
he didn't
which is
have
like,
any.
yeah, in the book, Marshall's a funny guy. He was hilarious. Him and Alyssa were like,
But he was still caring
amazing.
in the book.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it like lessened Alyssa's relationship with her, even though like Alyssa was very verbal, like that's my best friend, I'll do anything for her. But like I think the action of like even Marshall going out of his way to protect Lily kind of shows their relationship with her, and how they'll
overall
and like how they'll protect her despite them and their relationship with Ryle.
Yeah, that was really annoying too.
Yeah, that was my big one, because I was like, like when I think of the movie, I think of that scene, or like when I think of the book, I think of that scene and the rooftop scene, and the rooftop scene irritated me because there's so many missing things.
Okay, so we didn't see it.
Tell
Okay,
us,
let me
tell us,
tell
tell us,
you
tell us
please
the
tell us.
about the
difference.
rooftop scene. Okay, so first of all, the intro to Ryle was on exactly as it is in the book. He like barges
Okay.
in, kicks the chair, is all aggressive, whatever. And then he sees her, and they're just like talking about. She's like, "Oh, what's your name?" And then he's like, whatever.
Mhm.
And she says naked truth, but so low and so like to herself that it
That's
has
another one.
there's no emphasis on it, and it's such a big thing in the books
Yes.
because they're
Yes.
constantly saying naked truth, like naked truth, give me this naked truth.
Yeah.
And they never say it again except for one time when Raul says like naked truth, like when he first runs into her again at the flower shop in the
Yes.
movie.
After the yeah.
And also he doesn't take a picture of her.
Ah.
Which is annoying because he's supposed to be taking a picture of her and putting it like making a huge portrait
Yeah.
of
His
her.
sister's
Yeah.
party, right?
And I'm like,
yeah,
where's
yeah.
the picture? Like, what is
Yeah.
this? It's just this whole thing. I
He's
don't
like, I'm
know.
obsessed, but I don't want to look stalkerish.
Yeah, but he just was so. I didn't like the rooftop scene at all.
Like
I
I
didn't care for
feel
it.
like I feel like they could have not done the whole montage in the movie and added these scenes that we are needing. You know how
Mhm.
like in the movie they had this whole like montage of them? They could have stopped them, like they didn't need to have a whole montage and they could have added more.
They had 2 montages of them singing karaoke and having a fun time. And I'm like, why did I need 2 of these
Bowling or
montages
whatever. Yeah.
when only one would suffice? And then the other one could have been anything about Atlas, anything about her past. Like it could have been any Ellen. Where's Ellen's
Yeah.
montage? Like it could have been anything else. I didn't need 2. I
agree.
didn't.
It's like I didn't need to.
I didn't.
I was looking because I was like looking at the differences. Like there was like a list that I came across of what was different from the book versus like the movie. So I didn't watch the beginning, right, Tiff? But it's saying too that in the book, she stands in front of the crowd at her dad's funeral and
Yeah.
begins saying that there isn't anything good to
Mhm.
say about him before all her family, right?
Yeah.
Removes her.
Mhm.
But it says that in the movie, she just has a blank napkin
Yeah.
and it says a few things, or it's supposed to have a few things. She just crumbles it and rushes off.
Yeah,
Right? So she
her
didn't
mom
even-
was like before the funeral, her mom's like, just write like your 5 favorite things about him or whatever. And she was like, okay. So then she gets up there and she's like, these are my 5 favorite things about my dad. And she just sits there and doesn't say anything. She looks at her mom. She gives her mom this look like, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. But then she doesn't say anything at all and she just leaves. She doesn't even, and then she keeps that napkin with the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it the
Until
entire
when?
movie. The entire movie. She just
Until they get
keeps it.
until the cemetery, right?
Yeah. And I'm like,
Because I remember seeing it at the end in the cemetery. In my mind, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because I don't.
That
remember
didn't make sense to me. 'cause we
Yeah.
didn't watch the
But now
beginning.
it makes sense.
it's
I was like-
stupid. And I'm like, why would you do that?
But now it makes sense.
Yeah,
It
so
makes
she
sense
just has
now.
it. And I'm like,
I was like,
and
"What
then
is
she
this
just
list?"
leaves. And then there's no conversation. The mom doesn't say anything to her after that. She just leaves town. And that's it. And I'm like, and I looked
And
to
then
Katie in that scene when I watched it in the theater and I said, that's not how that happens. And Katie's like, I know. And I was like, I'm pissed already. I'm already mad.
Oh my god!
She's like, wait, that was another one.
Yeah, it's
Um,
just so stupid.
And then it also brings up like on the first night that they met, she talks about her mom being in an abusive, like her
Mhm.
parents in an abusive relationship on the rooftop. And in the movie, they don't talk about it till later on.
Yeah.
So it's like the timeline switches.
they don't want to. Yeah, I
'Cause
guess
the
in the
naked truth.
movie, they don't want to
Just let it out immediately.
say it right away. I guess
For the people
those who
that didn't read, which is
I didn't read.
like, unless you live under a
guess.
rock. Everyone talks
guess.
about it. So, like,
Oh my god!
yeah, it's a whole thing. And isn't the dad supposed to be like the mayor? Or
In the
something
book?
in the book?
You know, I feel like your memory's so fresh. I feel
I know, girl. Because I'm like,
Well,
what?
yeah, because in the book, I could have sworn he was like a mayor or someone very important in their town.
and that's
so
why they
when
couldn't say anything.
So when she said, yeah, pretty much. And so when like on the rooftop, she says who her father is, and I guess Ryle's just immediately supposed
Oh,
to
we
know,
weren't there on
even
that
though
one.
they're like in Boston. And I'm like, I didn't
He's
and
well
I didn't
diverse.
understand that in the book, but I was like, okay, fine. But like they don't talk about that at all. Like they're
No.
just rich. They just live in this mansion. No
think
backstory about it
maybe-
whatsoever. Like the dad
I
is
think
like
maybe
some
they
big
just-
guy.
Yeah, I think maybe they just didn't want to like. I don't know. I feel like they didn't hone in on a lot of people, a lot of things, and they're like, "Why are we?
roommate?
Why? Yeah, there's no roommate. There's no gay best
There's no
friend.
Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were going to, because didn't one of like the previews that they released, like, isn't she going through the party with the guy?
I don't
Or
remember.
was that? I don't know,
I don't
but I really
remember.
thought
No.
that because that was another thing. I
To
feel
get
like
Ryle
all the things that-
jealous.
Yeah.
yes, a lot of things that stood out in the book, they did not put. They
No.
just kept along the storyline. It
I
was
need
like,
the edited, uncut version, the true version. I need Justin Baldoni's true version. I feel like there was probably more, and this whole situation with Blake Lively, I feel like it got all changed.
Oh, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about
Okay,
that.
good,
Yeah,
because
I
that's
have
how
a
I
whole
feel.
thing.
oh, okay. So one more thing. It talks about the difference. The movie version, he proposes to his sister after, or proposes to Lily. I was like, I can't even think. He proposes to her right after
Mhm.
his sister gave birth. But then didn't they elope to Vegas in the book?
Yeah, they went. He was like,
And
"Let's get married right now." They were at their. I think they were at like someone's apartment.
His parents.
Yeah,
No, he was with his parents.
We're
Like
in
his
town
parents
or
aren't even
something.
like his parents aren't even a factor in this.
We don't even know
movie
what
at
they
all.
look like.
In the book, there's parents there, and he proposes, I think, like in front of the parents or something like that.
No, they're in the room. Her, Alyssa, and they're in the room, and they're just talking. They're just literally talking about whatever.
Oh,
and
she's
he
like,
walks
"I will
in.
marry him."
Yeah, and he walks in, and he's like, "I'll marry you right now." And she was like, "Well, I'd marry you right now."
Bet.
And then he was like, "Okay, then let's
Yeah.
go." And they take the parents, Alyssa,
Yeah.
Marshall, everyone goes on a plane, goes to Vegas, get married, they come back, and then yeah, and I was
That's that.
like, "Where are the parents?"
Which is
Not.
crazy because, like, once again, I feel like the book makes it more relatable to people in their lives. You
Mhm.
get me? Like people who truly are going through
Mhm.
that. There are people who truly make decisions in the moment. They get married with somebody and you truly didn't get to know that person.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the ending.
Yeah, the ending. I was just gonna say it. Didn't
Okay,
end.
so in the book, okay, Tiff, since you just like recently watched the movie, you can like counterpart, like you can say what the ending is in the movie. So in the book, Lily runs into Atlas on her way to meet Ryle. So in the book, there's still like a
Yeah.
connection with Ryle and Lily, where like
Mhm.
he's still part of their baby's life. After dropping off her daughter with Ryle, Lily like rushes to find Atlas and tells him her daughter's middle name is Dory, which I understand why they didn't say it in the movie because
They didn't
you would be
even
like,
talk about Ellen.
what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
No, why'd you do that?
And then she tells Atlas she's like ready to be loved by him again. And then in the book, Atlas like kisses like Lily's like heart tattoo and then tells her like, you can stop swimming now, Lily, like we finally reached the shore. But again, like you can't say it in the movie because like there's
one's
no
gonna get
references.
it. They're not gonna get
No.
it. And like also they have this exchange of like she leaves and then they're walking away from each other, right? And they turn
Mhm.
around. They have that like dramatic moment of like turning
Yeah.
around and being like, wait, like
You're like,
it's a whole thing. And like I hate that they did
Yeah.
that. I also hate that I mean, I kind of get why they didn't do it, but in the movie they didn't show Ryle like after everything happened and he's setting up the crib for her. He continuously comes back to the house and like they have this relationship.
Yeah.
And I
Isn't
think
that-
that was an important thing to have. Like they should have
Isn't
put
that-
that in there.
isn't there a part in the book where he like falls asleep in her hallway?
He falls asleep in the chair in the baby
No,
room or
like-
something, right?
There's one where like he's in her hallway, like she kicks him out,
Oh
and he's
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not like going
Mhm.
anywhere.
That's
Like in the
they didn't show that because she didn't have an apartment.
I know. Like in the book, I feel like in the book, she like kicks him out of his apartment.
Yeah, like she kicks him
Hold
out.
on.
I don't know.
Another one. Another one too is wasn't it Alyssa who told about the brother passing away, but it's really Ryle in the
In
book?
the book.
Yeah, in the book, Ryle's the one that says it, and then Alyssa's the one that says, which I think is so stupid because like make Ryle say it because that's also like I know that we're supposed to like hate Ryle or whatever, but I think
Like in
it
the movie,
gives
they
us
don't give him they don't in the book. I feel like they gave him so much where you're like still rooting for Ryle and
like he
you're like
can
falling
move
in
on
love
from
with that
this.
relationship.
Mhm.
And then
Yep.
when he like starts like when he hits that point of violence with her, I mean, I guess and that's kind of like what the problem is. But like when he hits that point of violence with her, like at the end you're just like, oh my god, like he's bad. Like
Yeah.
this relationship is toxic. But like in the book, you're like falling in love with him and their relationship, and you're like, he's trying, like he's doing this, he's doing that. And then in the movie, I just feel like they had their quick little montage, like you're supposed to feel
Yes.
something from a montage, which if you didn't read the book, I don't feel like you felt anything. You're like, what the
Mm-mm.
fuck is this?
No.
And then they just make him abusive, and you're just kind of like, ugh, like you get the ick,
Which
like right away.
that's
Like they're
something
quick.
that
They're like quick in
yeah.
it in the movie.
And I feel like that's something that like in the book, to be transparent, like it was an ongoing like, dang, do I like abusive people or what? Because it
Yeah.
made you like question everything, like,
Mhm.
wait, but is he bad? But then you questioned Lily too, like was she
And then you're
victimizing
like,
herself? And you're like going back
yeah.
to him and you're like, well, did
You
like
feel like how she feels.
yes,
Like you
her
understand the
emotions.
conflict. Yeah, like
Mhm.
the struggle with it.
Mhm.
And in the movie, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the thing about the book is like when you're reading it, even though it's a third person written
Mhm.
book, it's almost as if you're in Lily's shoes. So when she's
Yeah.
going through all this,
Yep.
you're doing it with her. So you're
Mhm.
like, I know this is wrong, but like I'm falling in love with this guy. Like I love this
Yeah.
character. So like there's no way that he
You're
hits
rooting.
her. There's no way
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
he's hurting her like this. It probably won't happen again. You know what I mean? And then as we
You're
continue to
justifying
read,
everything.
we're going along with it with her, and we're going along with like the realizing that this is toxic, realizing I have to leave, realizing
Mhm.
and like we're more like invested in
And that's why like your
their
heart breaks
relationship.
in the book. Like when you
Yeah.
read the book, that's why you get so emotional and like your heart breaks because you're just like, this relationship isn't good for us.
Yeah, it's not good. I need to
Like a
stop.
third person.
Yeah.
But I did come across this where it did talk about how some domestic violence scenes were portrayed differently in the movie compared to the book, which was true because, like we just
Mhm.
said right now,
Mhm.
you know, we kept falling back in love with this character, right? So it said right here the domestic violence scenes are some of the toughest parts to read in the popular book. Audiences were curious how these scenes would be portrayed in the movie, which is why
Yeah.
they did portray them a little bit differently because
They have to be
Justin
sensitive of like
Yep,
the
Justin explained
audience.
that the thought process behind the decision was saying that my fear was that if we were to follow the exact skeleton of the book that early on, seeing Ryle do what he did would make it very hard for us to accept that she stays with him because there wasn't just enough time to establish the love. But although he said that, I don't agree with it. I feel like it was rushed.
Mhm.
I feel like
Yeah.
everything that did happen, like they didn't really go through the roller coaster of emotions that Lily did really feel. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, is it me? Because I
No,
don't
no,
even
you're
feel like for a
right.
second she because in the book too, she portrays that like she is questioning herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was
Many
me.
times.
But in the
Yeah.
movie it wasn't like that. It was like she
And
was
yeah. And I guess in the movie, like when things happen, it's like a blur, right? So when he hits her, when he burns his hand, it's like a blur. When he pushes her downstairs, it's like a blur. And then when
Mhm.
like she's realizing all of it, when he's like the third final time, right, there's like a
Yeah,
flashback
there's a
that
replay and
happens,
it's
and
more
she's
slow
like,
mo.
oh shit, like he really did all these things. Like it's not me going like
yeah.
crazy or whatever. But I get it. I feel like in the movie you didn't have time to connect and feel truly like what Lily was feeling, to really connect with like Ryle.
Mhm.
I feel like Alyssa Marshall should have had more of a role in the
Mhm.
movie. Um And then I feel like there's little parts about Atlas, but I feel like Atlas was like so perfect. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they did a copy and paste.
That's exactly how
Absolutely.
I feel. Every line that Atlas spewed out of his mouth was like me reading it off the page.
Yeah. I thought they
Everything
did
he said
so
was
well.
exactly. And I wish that they did that with like Ryle and Lily,
hmm
which are the main
Yeah.
people.
Characters. Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so with that being said, with us talking about Atlas, some similarities between the book and the adaptation. Let's see. So Atlas seeing Lily for the first time at the restaurant, that
Mhm.
whole like
Oh my
slow
God.
motion with the music and just
Yeah.
like looking up, and it was
It's exactly how I imagined
that's exactly how I felt
when I was
read
reading
I was like,
That's exactly how I imagined it. Was like her, because she like heard his voice, and the way that it's described in the book is like she hears his voice, and she's like
yeah.
her heart like stops practically, and she like looks
Mhm.
up, and she's like in a daze, and she doesn't know, and like as soon as she sees him and that scar on his hand, she's like thrown back into like that kid again. And that's
Yeah.
exactly
believe
how I
it.
imagined it. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they did it right at least.
Same.
It's like at least they did
I feel like they did
something.
really well with Atlas.
Everything with
Yeah.
Atlas was correct except for when she goes
They
to
should have
him.
had more scenes.
Yeah.
of
Yes,
him.
he was like I feel like he was barely in it.
But
Older
then
Atlas.
again, if you think about
Oh
it,
my
he
God.
wasn't in it a lot in the books. He was talked
And
about
maybe-
a lot. And
and
his
maybe that's
younger
what made it-
self was a lot in there a lot. But
maybe, like that's
wasn't.
probably what made it felt like it because of the journals. The
Mhm.
journals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But and then also the poker scene. Like
Mhm.
that was a pivotal like scene in the book that wasn't in the movie, which is what I was expecting. But I guess if you're coming down to like timing, like you have to have this movie under a certain amount of hours. Pick and
Yeah.
choose what's important
But
to
I do.
have.
So that brings me back to, since we're talking about Atlas, is when he hugged her and said the infamous line.
In the future, if by some miracle you ever find yourself in the position to fall in love again, fall in love with me. I was
Ugh.
please.
But
I
I
was
feel
so
like
happy.
that scene could have been so longer. Like
Yeah.
it
I
should've
know.
Been, they could have
I'm like shaking
like
my
they could
table.
have like
I'm so excited.
they could have made that scene so more meaningful
Yeah.
and like brought so much more emotion.
Emotion.
It was just
yes.
like, yeah, like if you
and
ever
you know the
fall back in
line, and
love.
like for those who read the book, if you know the line, you're just kind of like, "Ooh," like he said it. He actually said like a line from the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like you're all excited
not like
about it.
the naked truths said once.
I'm so mad about that.
I hate that.
Oh,
They say it
what
all
did
they
they do well?
time.
What did
just
they do
didn't.
well
Yeah.
on the movie? Like, what were your favorite parts?
Go ahead, Tiff. You saw it. You
I'm not
literally
asking
just
now,
saw
like-
it.
Alyssa, I like it when Alyssa and her are having that conversation when she says that line
I
of like,
literally
as his
broke down.
sister, I
Ah!
hope that you forgive him, but as your best friend, I will never speak to you again if you take him back. And Katie like grabs my hand, and I grab her hand, and I was like, me and her, okay, when we watched it, because we watched it so late. We watched it so late that there was only like 10 people in the theater, and me and her the only one. Like we're ugly crying. We're like
Yeah.
hiccuping, and so when that scene happened, me and her were like, we didn't care that there were people in the theater. We were like, that's how I feel about you.
I know.
This
Same.
whole, and that was such
That
a. I'm happy that they put that in there, even though they didn't show so much
she
of Alyssa.
delivered that line so well.
Yeah,
The way
Yeah.
she said it, it was so good.
That was like a very deep scene.
yeah.
That was deep, like that, and I think that's what I wanted from the Atlas scene.
Mm-hmm.
Is
yes.
that how it
You're
came
like, what
across.
she did, do that.
Yeah.
That
Just
emotion.
do it.
So,
Yeah.
but it was so good. That was one of my top favorite scenes right there.
Yeah,
That
I
one
loved
for
it.
sure.
Same.
I loved it a lot. I just wish that they like showed the scene that's supposed to happen after that. Of like, I'm pregnant, and then Alyssa's like, oh my god, take some of my baby clothes because I just had a baby. And then
Mhm.
Marshall's like, oh my god, we're having a baby. You know what I mean? Like, just this whole.
All those moments. that you're
It's
talking
like
about.
the same concept of the poker scene of like, I'm going through this really shitty time, but I have these people that make me realize like I can get through this. And I think that's like one of the best, like when it comes to like domestic violence, like one of the things that I feel like is not talked about a lot is like the support system that the survivors have, like the victims when they have like going through it. Like I have the courage to tell this story because of these people, but like nobody really ever talks about it. They always talk about the actual act. And I think that the people that you surround yourself with to give you that support that you need to have the courage to leave and to move on and make it a life better are like the core of like who you are now. So like I just hate that they didn't give Marshall and Alyssa that like that moment. Yeah, like because it's such a huge moment, and I'm like, oh, God, you guys ruined it.
I know.
Yeah, no, I feel like you said that perfectly though. I feel like, you know, that, and that's what kind of we touched on earlier, is the support system you do have, like the poker, for example, you know, that scenery, like we keep going back to it, but like they could have shown a little bit more, because it does, like, for the ones who do make it out and have the strength and courage to leave a relationship that, you know, they've obviously experienced domestic violence in, I feel like it did, a lot of their support system help them walk away from that. They had people rooting for them, pulling them out of that situation and reminding them, you know? So it was like people like Alyssa who supported you, saying that like, I love you, but you know, I'm not gonna be your, not gonna be here in your life if you continue to be with my brother, basically.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the younger
What was your
versions
favorite?
of themselves for just a minute? I want to talk about it because I think that they portrayed the major scenes of like her flashbacks like really well, like when he's cooking cookies and whatever, and then when she like walks in on her parents and the dad is assaulting the mom on the couch. I think that was a good scene to have because that kind of portrays like, you know, it makes sense. Happened. Like, because if they don't show that scene and Lily's just like, my mom and dad had the same situation, we'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't
It wouldn't
show.
be as meaningful.
Yeah, so, like, to kind of show that, even in that short snippet, I thought that was good. And then, like, just them and their relationship, even though they didn't show, like, too much of what actually happened.
Good.
Yeah.
Those younger actors did so good. The one who plays young Lily looks literally like Blake Lively.
She sounds like her, too.
That could be, like, her younger self for real. I think they did so good. They did good. I liked them. I have no issues with them. Or I don't really have issues with them going flashbacks to the younger selves. I think what they showed was good. So yeah, I have no issues with it. It's the older stuff. It's the present.
Yeah, it's the present that kind of
that I have issues with.
Are we gonna go into that like little drama?
Oh my god. Yeah, do you guys want to do
drama? Go ahead. But yes, share your pop culture reference.
Okay, we'll start with I took notes. Okay.
Go ahead, girl.
We'll start with the movie PR first because that's like the biggest one. So okay, this is allegedly, okay? So allegedly Baldoni is the guy that directed it. His name is on it, but Blake Lively did have some scenes that she directed, and Justin pretty much wanted to kind of shine more light on the domestic violence aspect of everything. And Blake Lively kind of romanticized the movie a little bit and just kind of made it seem like it was a really great, like, it was like a rom-com. It's a great, you know, romance movie of the summer type deal, which just caused a lot of controversy on social media, which brought up a lot of negative backlash on Blake, and it brought up a lot of her past interviews, and it just it was a hot mess. And then Ryan Reynolds was like a part of the PR. There's this whole thing of like Blake can't do anything without Ryan, because Ryan was allegedly he was part of the directing decisions that Blake did for her scenes, and when he was doing PR, like he would interrupt any PR with Justin to like try to be funny, and was like, were you kissing my wife? You know, things like that. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that PR video. And so people were just saying, like, why is Ryan a part of this? He is not in the movie at all. I don't want to see him. Why is he here, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just a whole thing. So it just caused this huge controversy. And honestly, if you think about it, like, when I watched the movie, after hearing all of, like, the drama that was going on, I can kind of see the different scenes that Blake directed and the scenes that Justin directed. Because even the tone and the coloring and the way that it's, like, laid out, just everything about it is so different.
Even, like, the movie poster was different.
Yeah. Everything's
Justin
different.
had
Really?
his, yeah, Justin Baldoni, there was an original movie poster, and it's, like, very, you could tell it's, like, a very serious poster, right? And then the poster that actually ended up coming out, it's, like, Blake Lively with, like, the flowers, and, like, it ends with us.
And I think Justin's was, I think it was more of, like the undertones of the coloring was, like, a blue and gray. Like, you know, it wasn't really, like, bright and vibrant. And
If you
it
type,
had
like,
all
it
their
ends,
names.
yeah, if you do it ends with us poster, you'll, like, see the two
Yeah, I'm
different
looking.
ones.
There's a white one and then there's one with flowers,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you could see the difference.
So there's just this
Like-
huge controversy. And so, you know, Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, they just had this clash of, like, ideas in their heads. And I think towards the end, eventually, Justin was like, I'm just going to let her do her thing.
Yeah,
The scenes
I
that she
heard.
wants to take, you know, her role
Mhm.
in, and she can do that, and I'll do mine.
Yeah.
So that's like the PR drama of it all. So thoughts, comments, concerns, emotional outbursts.
So I feel like they went in hard for her, Blake. And
Mhm.
I don't know, it's like after you see things on social media, it does kind of look like she, in the very back of it, she probably was giving off that bitch tone, you know?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like her and Ryan were coming in and trying to take this over. Like,
Mhm.
this is it, like, you know? But I do also feel like, I don't know if she ever read the book, of course, but if she did read the book, you would think, like we even said it, you're falling in and out of love
Mhm.
with him the whole time. So it is a love story. It is young, and you know, it's unfortunate, like the outcome, of course, you know, but it's like, then at the end of the day, like, I do see that he's looking at it from a standpoint, like, what is the whole entire message, you know? Somebody who falls in love, but what is the message? It's domestic violence, you know, DV. So I don't know.
Well,
What
he
was
even
your thoughts?
says, like, he read the book.
Mhm.
He read the book, cried, everything, and that's when he was like, I want to make this into a film.
Yes.
And then he owns the rights to do it the sequel, which he now states, like, he'd
Did he-
rather have Blake Lively direct it.
Yeah.
What happened?
I was like, didn't he give it up, like,
Yeah.
to them now?
Yeah, to Blake Lively. He's pretty much like, she'll probably be the one to direct it. And it's crazy because during the whole PR situation, like, everyone was like, where is he? Where is he? And then I didn't really know it until people started saying it. And I was like, oh, yeah, where is he? And then when he did show up, he showed up and talked about the meaning of it, domestic violence. And then he was always constantly, like, sharing, like, if you need help, this is who you reach out to. And everybody was like, that's all his stuff. If you look at his page, it's all like that. And if you look at her page, it's like my hairline and the book and the movie. And then it wasn't until she got so much backlash that she started posting, like, if you need help, this is who you need to see. It was like after the fact, kind of.
That's
you know what I
sad.
mean? And you would think she would do it from the beginning. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Even
I don't know what her
if
thought
they
is.
didn't want to solely just focus on the DV
she-
part of it,
If she wanted to focus
They-
on, like, a woman who, like, got out of it and was, like, a strong, maybe that's what she was trying to go as, like, someone who, you know, strong, you survived it kind of thing, and you can, like, hold your head up high. I don't know.
but she still didn't come across with that approach.
No,
Even in her
yeah.
interviews, it wasn't an
Nothing.
approach that it was like this is a empowerment type of move. You know, it still came across like it's a rom-com. Like, you know, like it's just a
It's
cute movie.
not even. It's
Yeah.
not a rom-com at all.
It's
I don't
not.
think
Yeah.
so.
But I just feel like the way that she's coming off, it still wouldn't even give that type of vibe that you're really
Yeah.
considering
Yeah.
that this
Yeah.
is what you're setting them up for, you know?
Like that interview she did with
You're making light.
Atlas.
You're making light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that one threw me off because I was like, why are you answering the question like that?
There's an
Like,
interview
didn't see
where
that one.
somebody asks her, like, they talk about it, how it's like domestic violence, and they're like, if a fan or somebody went up to you and they're going through that, and they said, like, what they say, like, if I need help, or like, what do you
or
suggest?
like they want to tell you, they want to talk to you about their story and stuff.
Yeah,
how would
she's
you
like,
come about it?
yeah, and she was like, oh, like, you can share my location. You want to share location? You want to, like,
She's
go
like, do
on
you
the
want my phone number? Do you want to text me? Do you want my location? Do you want
yeah,
to do you want to come to my house? Like, it was like a joke. And even
it was
like the
weird.
guy that played Atlas sitting next to her, he was like
Yeah,
he was like, ooh,
like,
why are
it
you
was
saying
weird.
that?
You
Like,
have
it
to
was
watch it. It was
weird.
very
Mhm.
weird.
They're like
Yeah, I'm
sitting,
gonna
it's
look it
an
up.
interview. They're sitting on a couch and she's like got her feet up and she's like, living her best
Very
life.
chilled.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
it was
why I'm
weird.
saying, like, the message coming across from her, just with her demeanor and everything,
Yeah.
it's showing, like, it's pure comedy to her. Like,
Mhm.
I guess you could say, like, well, look at who her
Mhm.
husband is.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you're
you know,
not
it is.
promoting, like, you're not over here promoting Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, he already did that. You've already did that. You already went out there and you're like mustard and ketchup vibes with your girly on the Deadpool stuff. Like, that's separate. This movie is like completely separate from what your husband is doing with Deadpool. Like,
Mhm.
don't try
Yeah.
to like intertwine and be
Yeah.
the, what is it? Barbenheimer?
Yeah, the whole Barbenheimer thing, that was
Don't
so
be try to be
stupid.
like the Barbie
Oh, Barbenheimer.
Oppenheimer of the summer, because
Yeah.
it's not it. It's just your husband and you are in a film that is just they
Just
both
so happened.
are coming out in the same time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I feel like it just gave, like, it made her character, like, of her as a person,
Mhm.
come off real bitchy. Maybe it's all being portrayed wrong, but at
Mhm.
least from her interviews, from topics that are being discussed, all the chances that she had, I guess you could say, not really chances, but opportunities
Yeah.
for these interviews, she could have turned that around, and it could have been like, okay, yeah, we are laughing about this, but let's talk about the seriousness of this.
Yeah.
Okay, like, let's lighten the mood, because I get it, you don't want to be like so depressing, like, and I'm
Mhm.
not saying DV is depressing, but it is a unfortunate thing,
They're still
So
selling
it's
the
like,
movie, so I get
yeah.
that.
yeah.
But when it comes to it, even if you don't want the interview to set that tone where it's something so serious, and like, you have to be able to mix up that conversation,
Mhm.
and know that you gotta, okay, lighten up the mood a little bit, but then still touch the topic about how important this is. Which I really thought that would have been such a good blend for Blake and Justin
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
be able to
them
blend with
together, but
Colin.
if there was so
Like,
much drama, like, never
it
mind.
wasn't like a blend. It was either like you're black or white.
Separate.
Which side
Yeah.
are you? Yeah, like,
I don't even think they did an interview
it wasn't
together
great.
No.
at
You see, and
all.
that's the
It
thing.
was separate. And I think it's
Yeah.
because, I mean, given how she is in these interviews, I can only imagine how she is during, like, how she was, like, during the making of it, and how Justin was
Mhm.
felt like so, like, pushed off by it,
I literally thought in the beginning, like before more of the tour their press tour went on, I literally thought, oh, he's not there because his character is a bad character, a
Yeah.
bad person. So maybe they don't want to like
Yeah.
put them together. They want to put Atlas and her together, which they did. But then it more came out how like they did not get along on the set. They had their issues,
Mhm.
production issues, and I was like, okay, never mind.
It
Like
makes sense, like,
that
why it's
part
not.
doesn't. Never mind. Yeah.
And the comment of like how, and that's where I feel like she tried to twist things a little bit, like saying that, oh, he called me fat.
Yeah,
You
that
seen
was
that
just
comment?
weird. Like, he has a
Whatever.
bad back. Like, just let the man
Just like,
be. He
let the man
does. He's like, my back is, I've had surgery before, like, had issues with my
Yeah.
back. I am gonna lift her. I
I'm
just
willing
want to
to do
make
it for some
sure.
money.
Like, he's like, I just want to make sure I'm able to lift what I can lift. And she's like,
Yeah.
am I fat? Like, you're Blake Lively. Come on.
Yeah.
Don't act like that.
ridiculous.
Don't act like that. You're Gossip Girl.
Ridiculous.
Come on.
Just like, come on. No, yeah, but I don't know. That's just my perspective on it. I feel like they really put her in the hot seat, and
Yeah.
She didn't last
Yeah,
very
and it
long.
showed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it showed.
Yeah, she was sweating. But on a lighter note from that, another thing that has been going around all over social media too is the outfit choices, which I would love to talk about because why the
Okay, I
hell
have my opinion.
are they dressing her like that? In the books, when I
Okay.
imagine Lily and she's like overalls and like I imagine like the cute like soft colors, very
Yes.
basic, like going to like the farmer's market, cute like chic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something.
Yes.
Why the hell does she
Very
look like a
chic.
mechanic? I don't understand that.
Like,
You
okay,
guys
so
didn't see the scene.
Are you?
You guys
Are you
didn't
gonna
see
pull
the
up, like, the
rooftop scene.
pictures?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a picture. You guys didn't see the rooftop scene, but she was wearing a whole ass mechanic
I've
suit,
seen
zipped to the
pictures
top,
of
and
it.
I was like, "What are you wearing?
I've
Did you
seen
just get
pictures.
off
I'm
work?
looking
I
this
don't
up.
get it."
I literally, okay, when I saw the still shots before the movie was out, I was like, what is she wearing? Why is she wearing like 3 pairs of pants? And it's like pants, 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 pants.
Yeah,
Like, I don't get
a
it.
crop top, a sports bra, pants,
Yeah,
pants, and
yeah.
a Hawaiian t-shirt that's open. Like,
So I was like, I don't get it. But when I watched the movie, it didn't bother me. Is that like when I saw the
I get what you're saying.
stills?
Like, you're
When
like,
I saw,
what's
yeah.
the doing on it? But then you're like, but you know why? It's because I feel like we were, especially those who read the book, we were looking.
yeah,
I feel like that's another thing too. We were looking for what we wanted to see.
Comparing, yeah.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, that's what you want to wear with your like army jacket, your slick dress, and your like
I'm looking at the.
bedazzled shoes.
yeah. I liked that outfit until they showed me the rest of the dress. That's what is that? Don't roll up to my house dressed like
Oh.
that. I
You're not
don't
taking
like
out-
it. We're
you're
not
taking my
hanging
out
out.
to the park.
I
Change.
cannot picture that type of outfit for Lily. And I was like, look at these shoes.
I
No.
don't like.
And she was like, I made the choices. I wore my husband's outfits. I wore my best friend's outfits. Like that was her. It was her choice.
It was her
Her
clothing.
choice.
She's like, these are all
Her
my
choice.
clothes, and I was like,
She's like, this is like my husband's socks. This is his shirt. This is like my girlfriend's like dress.
But why?
like,
That's like,
shoes.
what?
Yeah,
what?
it
I just feel like,
doesn't
why do
fit
you
the
feel like
character.
it
I
doesn't?
have no
Like,
idea.
you can wear that on any other interview
Yeah.
and make that meaningful if you want to wear
Like,
your
why didn't
husband's
you?
socks.
Why didn't you wear that shit when you walked the red carpet
Yeah.
at your movie premieres?
Wear the double pants. Wear it on the red carpet. I wish
Wear
she
that.
would. I wish
She came
she
out
did.
to those. She came to those premieres in like bedazzled flowers. Fucking Britney Spears' like old dress, like suit. No, she came to those premieres like spotless. And you're gonna dress Lily like that in the movies? No.
And please brush her
Yeah.
hair. Brush
Oh,
Lily's
yeah.
hair. That was so irritating because I
Yeah.
imagine Lily, yes, red hair, I get it. Long,
She was
very thick red hair, but I
literally-
imagine Lily with like messy bun or like the hair
Is this another one?
clip or yeah, what
What
the
is that?
hell? That was the most
Is that
tame
after
one.
Riley?
That was the
Or
most tame
after
one.
Atlas.
Yeah. And that was
Yeah.
because she's wearing Atlas's clothes. That was the most tame one.
I pictured like softer outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, especially because like they really truly did make Lily feel like so soft in
Mhm.
the book. Like she came across very soft, very like I guess you could say like naive and trusting of
I would
Ryle.
like it if they did it like soft, and then as she got more confident, and like as she
Yeah.
left Ryle and like became
Her
independent,
style
it
changed.
changed. Like
Yeah.
it evolved.
It
But
grew.
here
Yes,
it was
evolved.
like, here's what's in my closet. I'm gonna just
I'm
throw
just
it
gonna wear
on, and you're
whatever.
gonna record it.
Yeah, it just I don't
Yeah.
know. It just didn't go with it. Like,
The army
But-
onesie. Do you think she wore a lot of army stuff because of Atlas?
No.
I
Okay.
didn't think about
He was
that.
in the Navy.
That was a good one.
Oh, okay.
She's like,
I
he was in the
tried. I
Navy.
tried to give her some
They don't
benefit
wear
of the doubt.
that.
but never
Okay.
mind.
I wish that like, cause like you know that scene where Atlas is like, you're literally like sunshine, right? You're.
Yeah.
I wish they should dress her in the way that Atlas describes her. Of like you bring this light into
Mhm.
people's lives and you don't even know it. And when I imagine someone like that, I don't imagine someone that dresses like that. Or even the way that like even the way like Alyssa dresses. Like I don't imagine that. That's very like that has like a powerful tone to it.
Yeah.
And I feel
Yes.
like Lily is not a powerful tone. She's more like a welcoming like tone. Like, she's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the girl next door. Like that's her
Yes.
style.
Mhm.
They hella did her dirty. So
And
annoying.
okay, I do have a question. Like, I know we were talking about like the age, but I did want to ask too, like, do you feel like they chose the perfect people? Like, I know we touched a little bit about it, but like, do you feel like she was the perfect person?
Oh, this is perfect to transition
good
into our
transition.
game.
Oh,
Who would we cast? Balloons, balloons.
who they
What?
at?
What? Do your peace signs for the
Hello?
balloons. Where are they?
Here's the
We
balloon.
all
Force-
look stupid. We're like,
Anyway,
Okay, so do you want to start off with like we'll choose one character and then I'll say mine and you say yours?
okay, let's
Okay.
go with Lily.
Okay,
so
young or old, Lily?
I have no casting for young
Okay.
Lily or young Atlas because I love who they already have. So
Let
I
me
don't know.
tell you I have one for everyone. So
Okay,
let me tell
tell
you
us
my
for
young
young.
Lily.
I want to see. Go
Sadie
ahead.
Sink from Stranger Things.
Yes, who was in Taylor
Okay,
Swift's
I've
music
seen
video?
Yes, Taylor Swift's music
somebody
video,
else.
and I want her dressed like in Taylor Swift's music video because that is how I imagine Lily to dress.
I love that
So
option.
I think Sadie Sink would be the best option.
That's cute. Yes.
That one, yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
was
then
like,
who's your young Atlas?
Okay, so I have two for young Atlas. So there's where is it? Actually just one. It's Christopher Brively, and he was in The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Christopher.
Yeah,
What?
BRIVE.
Briney.
Yeah,
Is he the brother?
I think so.
I so cute.
See him as young
Who?
Atlas. Christopher Brively.
Briney.
Briney, yeah, it's not a V.
BRINE from The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Oh yeah, okay. So
Cute.
Yeah, I see
I
him.
seen a video where they recommended him
Mm-hmm.
too, and I was
So
like,
cute. I could totally see it.
Look, that's good. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's a good one. Okay, so let's do older Lily now.
Okay. So, okay, you go first.
Okay, so I have two.
Okay.
Okay, so the first one is Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones. Her red
Sophie.
hair
Uh-huh.
vibe. I
Okay.
would choose her, or I would choose Abigail Cohen.
Is she from Little Miss Sunshine or whatever?
No, she's not in
Oh,
a
that's
lot of
Abigail
things,
Brenslin.
but she's in Redeeming Love. So
Abigail Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's in like the Winx saga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, you literally chose people who already have red hair. So are we not under the assumption that people can't dye their hair?
No, Sophie Turner doesn't have red hair. Her hair is naturally blonde.
Oh, but she has had red hair.
Yeah, but no, you can pick anyone that can dye their hair.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
You
like,
see
these are
what
just
you
people
said,
that
Sam?
I see and I can see easily portraying. Like, it would come easy to them. That
Okay.
role.
Did you see who she said?
Yep, I seen both. Okay, so
Okay. So the one. Okay. So now I feel like question about mine. Okay. So the older Lily, I chose Zoe Dutch or Dooch.
okay, Zoe.
Silence.
Okay,
Oh yeah, I see.
DUTCH.
Oh, she's pretty. I like her.
I see her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like I can
Ooh, I'm
see her as
between
Lily.
Sophie and
Yeah.
her.
She has that soft feature, is the same as like
Yeah.
it's like very like I can go up to her and talk to her.
Okay, so that's her. Or I chose. Let me pull it up real quick. Lily James, who plays like the new Cinderella. She's like Mamma Mia.
Oh yeah, she is in
Pam
Mamma
and
Mia.
Tommy.
Is it this one?
Yeah,
Yes.
I like her too.
Okay.
Again, like
I
soft
could- you know what?
features, and then like I think she could be like tough. Like, have you seen Iron Claw?
Yeah.
No.
She was in Iron Claw. She's good in there, and then she's like in Mamma Mia. She's like the live action Cinderella.
Mhm.
But who between her and I, for the older Lily, do you feel could be the right Lily?
Okay, so I am stuck between Zoe and Sophie.
Ew.
But Sophie does she can come across like a little too strong. She's giving like that Blake.
Yeah, like I see
like-
her like
Blake
strong
that face.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to say Zoe.
Yeah. Now that I see
Yeah.
Zoe, I think that's a good choice. Yeah.
Look.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I will
That
say
was a
all
good
your
choice.
younger people were point on. Like I would have chosen.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, who was your younger Lily again?
Sadie Sink from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
80
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
That
her.
one and even the guy Christopher.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those two are good. And then Zoe, okay. And
And then Ryle.
Okay, so I have 2 for Ryle too.
Okay, let's see.
So I have Sam Claflin. He is he's in the Me Before You. And and he's also in the Hunger Games. And I think he would be such a great because he's so handsome and like he has that
Look
like
at-
persuasive like
Sam.
rough, like
Yeah.
he also looks
Sam,
he's giving a little rough, like
Claflin.
Yeah.
he's giving even right
Sexy,
here, like
and then like bad.
Mhm.
Like I could see
He's
it.
here.
Yes. He's
Yeah.
so handsome.
I know.
Like
I
he's
enjoy
look,
it.
look at that dimple.
Imagine
I
him
know.
Chili
and
Peppers.
Zoe.
Yeah.
Him and Zoe as Ryle and
Lily.
Lily. So cute.
Yeah.
But then obviously it's toxic. But still, like it's a chemistry.
I
Yeah,
also put down Aaron Taylor Johnson for Ryle.
Okay.
He's in Bullet Train.
Yeah, I could see him coming across.
Yeah. Because he has that, like, he's very handsome and very persuasive, but also, like,
You could see that he could probably be a little
Yeah.
toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's
then
giving
I
toxic.
Look
put,
at him.
yeah.
He's handsome,
And then
though.
I also said Sam Claflin. Claflin, is that his
Mhm.
name?
Yep.
And then I also said, and I don't know if it works, but like I guess if you put him up against like Zoe or Lily James, Dylan O'Brien,
Oh my god, that's so funny that you say that. That's so funny.
who
that
was
you say that.
who was in Taylor Swift's music video
Mhm.
with Sadie Sink.
Yep.
And he is like a dick. He's like Ryle, essentially.
That's so funny that you say that.
I love Dylan
Yeah,
O'Brien.
I could see him. When it comes to Ryle, I'm picturing more of a because he plays a darker
Yeah.
like personality. I'm picturing like darker masculine, like
Yeah.
you know, like giving that like that bad boy. Like every girl wants that bad boy that's good
Yeah.
looking and stuff, but you know he ain't good for you, girl.
This is a side note, but I know that you didn't put Marshall on the Marshall or
Yeah.
Alyssa on the
Alyssa.
list, but I chose picks for them.
And who did you pick?
For Alyssa, I did either Allison Brie
Love her.
or Shay Mitchell.
I guess Shay Mitchell is almost like in You.
Yeah, she's in
Have you
You,
seen You? Yeah, but you know how she plays like the best friend
Yeah.
of
but
like
not
that.
crazy. Yeah, I can see her playing Alyssa because she's also kind of like fun and But Allison
Yeah.
Brie, I think, would be a good because she's like hilarious. But
Yeah, you have to
I
make
want to
her
say that the actor that played Alyssa already was like perfect.
But out of your guys' options, I definitely feel like the last guy.
Who?
Dylan
Who is
O'Brien.
Dylan
Yeah.
O'Brien?
Yeah.
I love that we both said Sam Claflin though.
Yeah, I know. Because he has
Yeah.
that, like, and also
Yeah.
I just watched The Hunger Games, so I was like, oh my god, he would play really good Ryle.
For Atlas, I was thinking like Alexander Skarsgård.
Oh, I like the Skarsgård.
I know
I'm looking
Skarsgård.
up right now.
I like him. He would be a good Ryle too, though. Actually,
Yeah, I can see him as Ryle.
Yeah, I can see him
too.
as
I could
Ryle.
see him. I see him as Ryle a little bit. He's giving like a little bit like strong.
Douchey vibes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so who did you say Tiff would be Atlas?
I
I'm
have
curious.
two again.
I love who they have for Atlas.
Yes, he's
So-
perfect. He's a perfect Atlas. Let's not get it twisted. But I have two. Dylan O'Brien was my one.
See Dylan, because he's kind of
As in-
like
he has a
this
baby
soft-
face. Yeah, he's like
Not
that.
Alexander.
Oh my What
Yeah,
is
he's Ryle.
that?
Not Alexander Skarsgård. Not Skarsgård.
Not his Skarsgård showing. And then
I'm just
I
kidding.
also did Adam Demos.
I have to look.
Adam.
So Adam,
Demos?
yeah, Demos. and I think he would be a really
Oh,
good Atlas.
cute. Who
I
is
could
this
see
man?
him.
Yeah, he was in like a Hallmark kind of movie called Falling in
Yeah.
Love, and I was like, oh my
Cinnamon.
god, so cute.
I could totally
Yeah.
see him
I can see him
being
for
Atlas.
sure.
I love it.
He has that, like, I would run to him if, you know what I mean? Like, he's got that vibe,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, like
it's, yeah, he's a good
Um,
Atlas.
That's a good
Your-
one.
I
I would
automatically think this
say,
Adam guy.
huh?
This Adam guy is Atlas.
Yeah.
Like,
Adam
look at right
Skarsgård.
here.
Oh, Adam Demos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Demos?
Look at it, yes! If you put him and the guy that actually played Atlas side by side,
Same.
Yeah.
same person.
And
Okay,
I also
so
feel
if you
like
were
the
to-
Atlas guy that they did choose to do good still.
Yeah.
Oh, he did great. He did perfect.
Okay, so it's safe to say you would have Atlas as Adam Demos.
Mm-hmm.
Demos?
Yep.
You would have Ryle as, I say Sam Claflin.
Ryle is Sam Claflin.
Yeah, and then Lily, I like, do we like Zoe Dutch?
Yeah.
I like Zoe.
I like Zoe.
I like Zoe too.
Young Lily.
And then your choices for Young Lily and Young Atlas, I think were like perfect.
Sadie
Sadie,
Sink
They were point on.
and Christopher Briney.
yeah.
I
love
and then
it.
Marshall,
Yeah.
I chose Miles Teller
Oh my God.
as
Hold on.
a Marshall because he's funny. He's like that funny guy.
Oh, that
And I
one's
think he
a
would fit.
perfect one.
Yeah, but I did also love the choice that they made for
Yeah.
Marshall in the movie. But yeah, those are my picks.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I think it went pretty. I don't know. I feel like
I honestly feel like I need to rewatch it again
me
because
too.
when I first
Mhm.
watched it, it was very analytical. Like I was like picking at it. I was like
Yeah.
looking for things, comparing it.
You're studying.
And now, and now I want to like watch it and just try to like enjoy the movie for what it is.
Yeah.
And then see how I feel after that.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Me too.
But-
I'm gonna look it up right now and see.
Where it's at.
Where it's playing.
Yeah.
I went to go watch it at the at Town Square because it wasn't showing in the theaters close to me anymore.
You
No.
need to hurry and just
Mhm.
like drop on Max.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like that's where we go. Or Prime.
I think overall, when it comes to the book or the movie, I prefer the book better over the movie because
Yes.
although the movie it was great, like I did enjoy the movie, I think the book had more meaning and I had more feeling to it. Even though I cried my eyes out at the movie, I think the reason why I cried my eyes out at the movie was because I cried my eyes out at the movie because I watched it with Katie and it was like one of those moments where it was like we bonded over it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those movies where
Yeah.
it's like we've brought it up many times already, that support
Mhm.
system, and like Katie is like my support system. So to watch it with her, it kind of added that more feeling to it. So she's
Yeah.
crying and I'm crying and I'm
There's a lot of
like,
emotion. And it's
Yeah.
like build up. You're
Yeah.
building it up, going to watch it. It's like
Yeah.
It's a girls' night.
exciting.
It's a girls'
Yeah.
movie. Definitely.
yeah. So, but I
No, there was
I
definitely
prefer the book.
There's definitely tears when we watched it in theaters, but I think if I were to choose one or the other, the book is better than the movie.
Mhm.
Yes. The
So,
book.
I think we're good. Is there anything you want to plug? Anywhere that people can follow you, your
Yeah.
business? Like, where can people find you? What do you have going on? Like, share it with our viewers,
Mhm.
please.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. You can follow me on Instagram. I do actually have a couple pages. So my personal Instagram is _Sammy Love with 3 E's. Me and my husband own a photo booth company, so of course we do like big planning, so balloons, marquee letters, floral walls.
Love it.
Photo
We've used
booth.
you. We have
Yes, we
definitely
do.
used you. We'll vouch for them. Yes. Go ahead
We
and
do
drop
digital
them in.
prints. backdrops, all types of things. And then I also run a women's networking group called Inspire Her Movement. And that's just like-minded women, bringing them together so they can connect, be able to do workshops, and push out their businesses to get on the next level. We've all been there at one place at one point of our lives where we didn't have somebody to go to or be able to ask those questions, or you kind of feel like you're stuck and you don't know how to open your, I don't know, take out your business license or what vendors to go to. And we pretty much group everybody together who are rooting for one another and want to see each other succeed. We're not competing with one another. We really want to build
Love
each other
it.
up. So,
I love that.
I know. I love that.
that's pretty much it. And yeah, that's all.
Oh my God. I love it. Thank
I love
you
that.
so much, Sam, for
I
being
appreciate you
here,
guys.
spending your time, spending your night talking with us.
Mhm.
We enjoyed
Of course.
it always, always. I know that please come back for another episode when we
Yes.
do.
Oh,
Is there
definitely.
one that you would be interested in? I mean, I know you don't, your life is like so busy with all your projects and work, but like, is there something specific?
No.
Even if you don't read the book, like we would love someone if you like you didn't read the book but you watched the movie, like that
Oh, that's another
opinion.
perspective. Yeah.
But is there
Um,
anything?
I'm open to anything. If you guys just feel like you have something that you really want to pick off of, just message me, let me know, and then we can plan it out. Even books, I'm always open to reading some books too, Tiff. I've been wanting to like talk a little bit about the naughty books, but I'm like,
Oh my God.
but
That's my forte.
if you
She's got
if
them.
you guys text me then. But if you
Okay.
guys do watch Tell Me Lies, the show,
Okay.
if you do watch that, and then if you do decide to read the books, let me know. But
Okay.
I am
Okay.
finishing up because they just launched season 2 for
Oh
Tell
my
Me Lies.
God.
Oh.
Yes, but I
I'm
will
gonna
tell
write it
you
down.
that season 1, I can definitely say it keeps you going. It keeps you looped in. There's just
Okay.
so much shit that's happening that you're like, it makes you want to keep watching. So definitely recommend. But that one, don't watch it around the babies because there is a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
very naughty scenes.
Oh
Okay.
And
my
they don't care about
God.
showing. They don't.
Oh.
They show everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Sam, for being
Thank
here. We
you.
appreciate it so much.
I appreciate you guys.
If you like this episode and want to see more, just like and subscribe to our YouTube page
We're also on Instagram and we are on Twitter. We also
and
have a
TikTok.
TikTok as well. You
Yes.
can find us at official page to picture. It's our handle for everything.
Yes.
So let us know what you guys want to see. If you guys want to see more, if you guys want to have recommendations, please let
Yeah,
us know.
interact. Please let us
Interact
know.
with us.
We will take what you say into consideration. We'll add it to our list.
But yeah, we'll take all them recommendations because we want to keep this interactive. We want to keep it going. We want, we want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and remember, every story has a new page to turn.
Love it.
I hate that line.
I like it.
hate
Honestly,
it.
it's the
Signature ending.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time.